Bitcoin 50% dump before the halving. That is today's show's topic, and I've actually just had a major realization. I've been thinking about this for a while now, but I did not consider it as a major possibility. But then something crazy happened, and I also shared it with you on Twitter, and I asked your opinion, what you think of a chart. So this is exactly what I'm going to talk about today. How can Bitcoin dump 50% from the current price or from a little bit higher, and why that is a major scary thing for us. So if you're new to the channel, smash the like button. I'm reworking this channel, which is pretty cool, but it takes a little bit of time. This is why we don't have the daily shows, but we will have the daily shows for the 3, 4, 5 people who are still here and not only in the community. Shout out to you guys. Smash the like button, leave a comment if you're watching. Yeah, let's jump into it. So I wanted to show you first, what I wanted to show you is, if you follow me on Twitter, if you don't, you should. I posted this chart here, and I said, you know, take a screenshot, draw your analysis, send the results in the comment. If I told you what this chart is, you will be shocked. So obviously how I would kind of interpret this chart is that we have massive liquidity up here, and then we will probably create a higher high, which we actually do here. So we do have a higher high, and then we are going to start pushing, filling this liquidity here, or this void here, filling the fair value gap, and then potentially testing onto some kind of supply, and then moving down. This is how I would analyze the chart. And I then go on and I say, I'll help. Look at the higher time frame picture. So this would be the higher time frame picture. What I see, again, massive liquidity laying above here. We are at a major support, and we are potentially going to see a push. Now, here's the shocking part. And I didn't tell you what this chart is. So what I wanna do is that I'm gonna cover the yeah, so you should yeah, you see it already. Okay, doesn't matter. So, but what it really means is this is the inverted chart of Bitcoin. So why is this interesting? It is interesting because it kind of put me in a completely different mindset, because we're so bullish. If you look at, if you look at this, I will turn it back. If you look at this, everybody's like, oh, we're going all-time highs, and I'm like a bull kid, like moon boy, whatnot. Fine, but if you kind of take yourself out of the box and start thinking out of the box, the possibility of us going lower is there. Why? Look at this. So if you look at this chart, right? Here's what I would consider. I would say we have to come back to the discount, right? So we do have the premium and discount zone drafted. Our discount zone would be around 42,000-ish region, right? So we are coming there. We do see a support here, and this is why the crash is not imminent right now. This is why I think that we still have time. But if you consider this, that means that we still have a little bit of push to the downside, and then a reversal confirmation, and then a continuation up, right? If we are talking about this chart, what we're looking at now. Now, the problem is that this is the inverted chart. So if I look at this and I mark the liquidity levels, right? This would be my liquidity here. Something like this. This is a major void up there. So if I would mark this liquidity here, that means that we are going to see this liquidity being taken. Now, what would be my level to take profits, right, on this trade? So again, we're playing a game here. So this would be my long. Come on. Oh yeah, because it's inverted. Okay, so this would be my long, right? So this would be kind of my long. And then I would target what? I would target these highs. I would target the liquidity being taken, right? Now, obviously, there are some major areas where I would start looking for reversals. So for example, I would look at the breaker here. I would look at this supply zone here. So not even that, sorry. I would actually look up here. Liquidity, there is relative equal highs as well. So this is also liquidity up here. So this liquidity is being taken. So the next place would be for me to look for a reversal, and potential TP is up here. Now the problem is, if I take all this that we've just done and I invert this chart back to its normal place, it is a major short. It is a major short. The only problem is with the short is that this is not at our discount zone yet, right? So if we would be looking for a long, we would say, okay, so we need to have, on the weekly, we need to have a 50% retracement. It comes back to the 50, touches onto some kind of demand, and then moves forward, right? And so this is kind of what I'm thinking. So if I invert this chart back, I would be looking at a short position up here. Now the question comes, why would I think that we should short, right? Because it doesn't make any sense. And how can, if I'm still expecting a little bit higher push, why would I think that we are going to go lower? Now here's the thing. We are building up massive sell-side liquidity. So like if you look at this here, sell-side liquidity is the liquidity on the bottom. So if you see this here, this is a lot of people have orders in here. And then we have this liquidity here, this major liquidity. And this is actually, I'll actually take this out because this is actually a whole void of liquidity down here to the 17K region, right? Now, there are major levels. So this is a relatively equal low. So this POI around 22,000 is the level that I think will hold. Or obviously the breaker block up here at 32,000-ish region can also hold, Guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, smash the like button. And yeah. Leave a comment. I want to see who is here on YouTube. Who is there on Twitter. I see about 10 people watching now. We have launched a community, so, you know, this is, and I also reorganized the YouTube, so this is probably why you guys are not here yet, so, but that's absolutely fine. We're pushing. So, if you look at this, right, my idea here is the following. We're going to see a push. Several scenarios. Now, also, let me just jump right into what the data says, right? So we're debating as well in the community with Mason and Nest on like, you know, what's up. But here's my thinking. So every time, if you go back in history, you see that even in the, you know, in the very early days, we had a massive dump before the halving. So look at this. So this is halving in 2012, right? First halving. Before that, we saw 98 days before the halving, we saw a 58% correction. 58%, so about 60%. Then you move on. And then we saw before and after the halving in 2016, before and after the halving, we saw 30% before and 30% after, which averaged out to about 42% total around the halving, right? So if I go further, 2020, 88 days, so almost as 2012. 88 days before the halving, we saw a 63% correction. 63%. And then obviously a pump. So the pattern shows history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. You know, they usually say that. So I'm not saying that we are going to see a 60% correction now, but it is definitely in the cards. Now, how I would imagine this playing out is the following. We have 148 days. The halving is where is it? The halving is set to be around in 19th of April, right? So it's around where are we? It's around 19th of April, right? So from now until there, we've got 148 days. So we saw a pump on the previous halvings as well. Before we saw a major pump. Now this is a major pump as well, but I think there is still room to go, especially if we consider that we need to go up to the 50% retracement as we have discussed here, right? So we still have space to go up to this 44,000 region, touch onto the discount, premium discount, depending on where you look at it. Now it's the premium zone and then reject from there, right? So if I look at this, I say what would be the catalyst for us to reject in about 90 days? And what is very interesting is that the ETF, ARK ETF, the final deadline for ARK ETF is January 10th. Now, why is this interesting? It is interesting because January 10th is 100 days from the halving, which lines up pretty much with what we saw in the previous halvings, around 90 days. So 2 out of 3 times we had 90 days, 80, 90 days before the halving, we had a major correction, 50, 60, whatever percent. So if we consider the fact that the ETF gets rejected here in January, the market can show this major dump, but before that happens, I think we still need to go a little bit higher to achieve the equilibrium. So what I'm looking at right now is that we're potentially gonna come up to achieve equilibrium around the 44,000 region, and then, so in the next, I can just pull this here, this ghosting. So we can see something like this playing out, right? Something like this. We are going to see a push now, major, massive push. Maybe, you know, something good news or whatever that is. Massive push to the 48,000 region, as we've been talking about this on the channel forever. And from there, we can see a massive dump. Now, the massive dump would be, so let's say it ties up, and actually this ties up pretty nicely as well. So it's around January, mid-January. Maybe it's the ETF, maybe it's some other news. I don't know. I'm just telling you the possibilities, right? So if we see a 50-60% correction from there, that puts us down here below this liquidity that I've been talking about. So below these relative equal lows, all the way down to the POI that we've discussed, the 20 to 22,000. So my argument here is that we are going to see a push leading up to the ETF deadline, the ARK ETF deadline. When we see the push to the ARK ETF deadline, we are going to touch onto a major weekly supply zone up here at 45, 48,000. And from there, as we saw it historically, we will need to have a dump, which will be about 40 to 50 to 60%, which ties up very nicely with this point of interest down here, which is the 23 to 20,000-ish region. So this would be my game plan. This is scary shit. When I started thinking about this, I actually considered selling my, spot bag now, but I do not think that the correction is coming now. There's no reason. Everything seems to be, great. The Binance FUD is basically, out of the window. There's, with the Binance FUD goes the whole, DOJ sitting on their, whatever, and trying to do their regulatory thing. They will have their finger on the pulse. They will see what Binance is doing. They'll have access to everything. That will give them basically an inside information to the largest crypto exchange in the world. Like literally, we looked at it. Binance is 10x on today's community call. We looked at it, and Binance is literally 10x the volume of the runner-up Coinbase. So it's just not even the same playing field. So yeah, so basically that's the idea, guys. That's the idea. I think we are going to see a major push, a major push to $44,000, $45,000, $46,000, and then touch onto a weekly supply zone, and then see a major dump. Now the market is maturing, and the ETF is here, and the institutions are here, and I understand all that, and there are some things to consider. One of the arguments that we've been discussing is that the active addresses are up and whatnot. Yes, we saw that. So look at this. 12 active addresses were also up, yet we had the dump. 2016 active addresses all-time high, yet we saw the dump. Then we saw 2020 active addresses were not all-time high, but pretty stable, yet we saw the dump. So the fact that the active addresses are up does not necessarily mean that we are not going to see the dump. CME. Open interest on CME Bitcoin futures by trader category. Hedge funds 2 billion short, $2 billion worth of shorts on CME. Obviously, there are asset managers on long as well, so this is kind of like a contradicting picture. I still think that the fact that we have 2 billion shorts opened by hedge funds on CME, which is, basically like much larger than any other position. So here you see hedge funds are still having open long positions, about 700 million, but here the shorts are dominated by the hedge funds. And considering the fact that these so I think this is something to definitely consider. So let's go back. Also, total. I wanted to talk about total as well, but you see the dump on total as well. So you saw the dump right before the halving on the total market cap as well. Even 60-70%. This would basically put the alts at least 60-70-80% dump. And this would be a very great opportunity for. And even what is interesting? Even what can also happen is that we see a pump because the ARK ETF gets approved. And we do see a pump because of that news. And then we go up to the supply zone. And before the BlackRock and before all the other ETFs get approved down here, all these ETFs get approved here, we will see a major dump. These guys load up, ETF gets approved, bull run activated. This is definitely in the cards. So what I'm saying is, for now, I'm not selling anything. We might see a little bit of pullback. We might even come down to this 34, 36-ish region. But I think that until like January, I think we are going to January to February. I think we are going to see a push to 45, 48K, and then from there a potential dump, whether it's coming to 30K. Let me see what would be the premium and discount on this push. We're 36K. Yeah, this is also a possibility that we only come down to 36K and pump. But that would be such a little, that would be like 20-30% dump. Yeah, then maybe we go up higher. Maybe we go 48 and then see like a 30% correction down here, taking all this liquidity, potentially touching onto the breaker here around 32,000 and then moving on. That's also a possibility. So we have to keep this in mind, and this is why we like and subscribe, legends. Hey, John. Hey, everybody. So this is absolutely a possibility, guys. Keep this in mind. I will not sell anything now. Let's look at the market as well now that we're here. So, by the way, guys, if you're not in the community, you gotta come and join the community. It's pretty freaking awesome. We have a morning call on Zoom every single morning. We talk about an hour of the market. We take trades. You know, it's just incredible. It's a very nice place to be. It's free until December. You just have to use our exchange links. There's nothing. You can transfer KYC, whatnot. Everything is in the description. So if you come to this video, you can go down here. You will find all the information. You click on this document. You will see how to join the community. So it will basically outline you where you have to click, what you have to do. You know, it will basically tell you everything you need to know. And if you go lower, you can, if you sign up with Bybit now, you have a chance to win an iPhone. So that's definitely, and something I'm gonna give you now. The people who are here, you know, people got used to me not being live, so there are fewer people than usually. So now I'm gonna give you something special. So there is an exchange that I'm partnering up with, right? This is not the official announcement. I'm gonna record a video, everything today, or hopefully tomorrow. But I'm partnering with these guys, and they're called beleive. So the platform, I just tested the platform. Very cool. I'll tell you why they are very cool. Number one, they are non-custodial, meaning they are still, I asked them for proof, and I asked them for terms, and I asked them their, you know, the proof that they are actually custodying at Fireblocks. But they are custodying at Fireblocks, which is a major asset manager. That means that basically you cannot get hacked on the platform. Your funds are safe on the platform. Number two, no KYC. Almost worldwide available, including the States. No KYC. And almost as many leverage pairs and Binance, just below Binance. So over 260 leverage pairs, non-KYC, non-custodial. Absolutely incredible. Great liquidity, great team, great people behind. I personally know, so there is a guy called Petty on the right. Yeah, so his name, I don't know if I can dox him. So I will not dox him now, but there's a guy who's been working with Benter on the finance side, and he's now working with beleive, and I've been in touch with him. I trust him. I know that he would not put his name on something that's bad. So I have very high hopes. I am considering moving everything to beleive, so I will still test the platform. I got some trial funds. I actually put it on high leverage and blown it most. Sorry beleive, but I wanted to see how it handles higher leverage, liquidity, and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's pretty good. So you can trade futures. You have the earn function. You have copy trading, which I don't want you to do because I don't think that's the right way to go about it. But it is a pretty cool platform. So if you go and click this, I will not give 20% off fees. The only reason why I could do that because these guys are legends. But right now I have 20% off fees and also in the video that I'm gonna make about them. So if you want to sign up, I would definitely recommend do it. But I'll have a video coming out about that as well. So let's look at the market. What do we see here, guys? What do we see here? Our rune long. We might have to close this rune long. Yeah, so the basic idea, look at this liquidity building up. I don't like it. We need to come down. Induce the OB, so we need to come down, potentially 36,650, and then move on. Guys, if you want to trade with us, come to the community. The reason also why I haven't been doing the live shows is because we do everything in the community. But I'm planning on, I have some stuff up in my sleeve. The channel is going to go through a complete rebranding. It's gonna be very interesting, very cool. Everything seems to be building liquidity for a little bit of push down and then a major run, potentially even starting, you know, to run for the 2K region. Yeah, guys, that's basically the idea. So summarizing everything, I think we're gonna see a major push to like 42, 48,000, 44, 48,000 region. That might be the catalyst, might be the ETF approval. The catalyst might be the, you know, whatever that is. We just run into holidays. But then from there on, we might see a major rejection and coming down to like 30, 40, 50%, as we have previously seen in history before halvings. So that would put us to around 22, 23,000. But potentially, obviously, reversal at 36, 37, 33, 32, and above. So thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to share this with you. It's a short show. You know what? For the man, the legend, Josh, I just saw that you have please review super USDT on Maxi in a 5x long, but not sure if it will break the resistance around 42. All right, My friend, anything for you. You know what I'm gonna say. You already know what I'm gonna say. Driven by hype. Driven by hype. But if I want to do some TA on this, which I don't think you really can, but if I wanted to do some TA on this, what I would say is that we came down 50, retested, we made an MSS here, which could be a strong MSS, could be considered definitely on the 4-hour strong MSS, so it is going to come back. The question was, not sure if it will break the resistance around 0.42, so it already did. It already wicked through. So this is a break. This is I mean, it's not a body break. It can be liquidity as well, but this is definitely like this is definitely an indication that we have a possible push. So what I would be looking at, this is actually what I'm gonna do on the shows as well, guys. That we're gonna do swing entries. Let me know if that's something that you're interested in, because then it's different than the community. On the community, we do daily trades. In this, we're gonna do swing entries. So we're gonna look at coins like this, and I'm gonna say, you know, let's look at the possible entries. This would be an area. So I don't know what your entry is, Rubber Duck Tuts. I don't know what the entry is, but this looks good. This looks good for continuation. It can definitely come down here, so you have to consider. It coming down all the way here. Probably there are no big inefficiencies. That's a problem. Yeah. Even down here, it's a possibility. 33.85. The problem is that I don't know because this is driven by hype. The problem is that I don't know where it's gonna go exactly. This was a great level. It retested it. This should, in theory, hold. This should, in theory, hold. But the momentum is with the bears. So let me see. So this is what we saw. We have a push, close above, retest. Push, right? So yeah, so this level should be good. This level here should hold. I think this level should hold. So I think this low will be taken. Sorry. So considering what we just discussed, I think this low will be taken. But nah, the problem is that we don't go above. The problem is that we can't break above. So the problem with this low is that although it comes back to a point of interest down here, right? It retests this inefficiency and it starts moving up. It only breaks on lower time frame. Look at it. It only creates an MSS on lower time frame, and then it's coming down very heavily from the breaker. So if you consider this, I would go for this here. So the whole region is good, but I would go from this 37.68 to 36.5. That would be the region where I'll be looking at buying. I actually will put in and also what you want to see, I'll put in an alert. Also what you want to see, you know, we want to see something like this. Right? So this would be the ideal scenario that you want to see going into this. That would be, guys, you can hit me with one more coin. I'm happy to do one more coin. Until you figure that out, Now, what was the name of it? Spool? Was it Spool? Yeah, so these were the... Whew, this coin looks interesting. So these were the DCA levels. If you see a lower time frame confirmation, you can start entering on these. We didn't see it here. We didn't see it here. We are seeing here. So like, look at this, how well institutions or whatever that is protects this level. Very, very nice. So this is probably going to get taken as well when we go down to the next level, which is down here. Again, driven by hype. But this is a gem that we found, or a nest found actually. So that's what we're going to do. All right, guys. I appreciate you so much, legends. Subscribe to the channel. And guys, I think it would make sense for you to sign up for both of them. I will make a video, you will decide yourself, but they sound pretty cool. Other than that, come and join the community. You're missing out, I'm telling you. And it's free. It's free. So, come and join us. See you on the next episode, I guess, or the next live. Yeah. Cheers.